The presidential candidate of the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2023 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, has paid tribute to late human rights lawyer Chief Gani Fawahimi, a senior advocate of Nigeria, saying the legal luminary inspired his pursuit of clarity on the academic records of President Bola Tinubu at the Chicago State University, CSU. Atiku said Chief Fawahimi, who started the advocacy about 23 years ago, can now rest in peace following the revelation about President Tinubu's academic records. Now, the former vice president spoke at a World Press Conference in Abuja, which was still ongoing as of Thursday afternoon. The PDP candidate also called on other opposition leaders like Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) to join him in the quest to enthrone probity in Nigeria's leadership recruitment process. Now joining us virtually to discuss this in detail, we have Nick Agule, a public affairs commentator, and Victor Atewe, also a public affairs commentator and a social affairs commentator as well. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to VOPTV this morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome to VOPTV this morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
Good morning and good morning to our viewers.
Thank you so much. Now let's start with Nick Agule. Thank you so much for joining us on VOPTV this morning. This is an issue that has been dragging on for a while about the president's certificate. You know, it's been dragging on for so long that we can trace it back to 1999 when Chief Gani Fawahimi, who Atiku has spoken about, in his eulogy, saying that he will now finally rest in peace. Would you describe this as victory? Do you think Atiku is on the right path? Now he has gotten what he's wanted for a while, but is this victory? Is victory close for Atiku, or is he chasing phantoms? Mr. Nick Agule, are you with us, sir?
Thank you very much for that. Yes, can you hear me?
I'm with you. Thank you. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go right ahead.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you very much for that question. Two things. Whether Atiku Abubakar is on the right path and whether this can give him any value or justice, to me, these are two different situations. The first is that, is he on the right path? The answer is a capital yes. It's on the right path. Those who seek to lead us and take public office must have their affairs in the public domain. If any Nigerian does not want scrutiny of his personal life and affairs in the public domain, please don't step forward to take public office. Because if you step forward to take public office, we, the people that you are leading, are entitled to know about you fully, including your state of health, the claims that you make, and the personality that you are. We are fully interested. So this case by the PDP presidential candidate in the last elections to unravel the academic record of President Tinubu is in the right direction. Whether this case is going to add any value to him or change the game at the Supreme Court or any other judicial level as we have it in Nigeria is debatable. And that will be left to the justices who we have to adjudicate.
All right, we seem to have a glitch in the network with Nick Agule. We'll just allow the engineers fix.
The matters President Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, we add to this process. We add to this process for him.
All right. Well, I want to believe that where Nick is, we're having network problems, and I can guess that he's in Nigeria. I can guess, and I don't mean that badly, but if you've noticed, when you make international calls, it's a lot clearer. When you make local calls, it's a lot. It gives you issues. But Nick, we'll would like to, find a way to fix that because we're having a glitch in the quality of audio there, and that's preventing us from hearing your thoughts clearly. Let's also welcome John Akirile to the show. We do have Victor Atewe as well. Good morning to you, John. All right. Now let's stay with Victor. Victor, first of all, let's get this out of the way. What are your thoughts, Victor? I haven't heard from you on this one. So tell me, since the news broke on Twitter, on social media space, and Nigerians have been going all out, some saying, no, it doesn't really matter. Others saying the president should answer questions, the president should tender resignation. What are your thoughts now, Victor Atewe?
No, okay. Thank you for that question. Yeah, to answer to give response to your question, you see, the truth is to what the president, Atiku Abubakar, trying like what he said yesterday, that it's just, of course, Ganifa inspired him, of course, to go further, to dig deep, as to know the truth regarding our current president's certificate. So, but given to that, trust me, it's really a shame, given to the current situation we are in Nigeria and of course the international community. This is really a shame. Now, to what end would that add to the current situation we've been faced in the current situation in the Supreme Court? That is another case to answer, because now, in the eyes of the law, such evidence ought to have been tendered in the lower court, the appeal, the tribunal, yeah? So, but as it stands now, it's not, that case is left for the Supreme Court if they will adopt that as an evidence, which we are not sure. And we want to preempt our justices, our judges, as to what, or as to how they will deliver the judgment. But my thoughts on that is, this goes to show, and trust me, the case of forgery is a serious case. It's a very, very serious case. And CSU has said that the certificate presented by our current president, President Tinubu, is not been issued by them. However, President Tinubu is their student. So that is a two contradictory statements, as it were, but which is, of course, left for the court if they will adopt that as an evidence, as in forgery as it stands, because that is a very serious case, and according to our constitution, it ought to, the president ought to be, let me use this word now, step down, or taken seriously as to face the law. But we leave that to the Supreme Court if they would take that into, they would adopt that evidence being
okay.
Found out about
all right then.
Ex-VP Atiku.
All right then.
You know how it found out in this country.
Okay, well, we have John Akirile. John, welcome to the program. By the way, I'd like you to give us your thoughts on this as well. And I'd like for you to touch on the issue of morality and judicial justice, all right? What Nigerians should expect of the president. And by the way, how is the shoulder? Are you feeling, is it better now? Go ahead, John. All right, that line seems to be giving us issues because we can't make out what you're saying, John. We can't make out your words at the moment, and it's a glitch in the network. We do hope that can be rectified very quickly too. At this point, we have to go back to Nick Agule. And Nick, if you're still there, I hope we can hear you clearly. Now, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked John just now. The issue of morality. That's what some Nigerians are clamoring for, saying, look, if you care about the country, if you care about the image of the country, the president should make certain moves. But the president has been quiet, really. What do you think the president should do?
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay, fine. I don't know whether it appears you didn't hear my opening statement to the first question that you asked me. Uh, in summary, what I said was that whether Atiku Abubakar is on the right path, yes, it's on the right path. Now, those who seek to lead us must have their affairs to public scrutiny. If you are a pilot on a plane, we, the passengers, are very interested in your state of mind, in your state of health, in your qualifications, in your competence and expertise in that cockpit. If you don't want that scrutiny, please stay at home. Don't take public office. So that's what I say. And to answer your question, to say that um, uh, on morality basis, is there anything that we stand to gain here? Of course, there is something we stand to gain here. The records as released show that there are some discrepancies in the academic records of the president of Nigeria. And he owes us a duty to explain to us what these discrepancies are all about so that we can have our minds clear in terms of the person who is leading us. I think that's the minimum that he has to do. But whether what has happened, this revelation of the academic records, will have any judicial value to uh, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, that's left for the courts to decide as we wait for with bated breath to see how it plays out in the courts.
Thank you very much, Nick. It was a lot clearer this time around. Honestly, the first time we couldn't hear you. Oh well.
Mr. Nick, thank you so much for still being there. The question I'd like to ask now is, what do you think, the president should do next? Because he's not come out to say anything. His cronies, his spokespersons, people in the APC have come out. One person even said, you can redesign your certificate the way you want it. If in case you don't like the way it look, you can change the font, you can rearrange it, you can add colors, you can add any kind of swag that you want to the certificate because it is yours and it is a ceremonial document. But the president himself has not come out to address this issue. Isn't that Nigerians are not deserving of an explanation from his own end?
Well, that's
Are you with us,
to
Mr.
you,
Nick?
Nick. That's we'd like you to respond to that, Nick.
All right, I think we're still having a network glitch there.
You said the question is for me?
Yes.
Okay, yes, of course. Nigeria deserve an explanation, and that is precisely what I said in my last statement, that the minimum that we expect from President Tinubu is to give us a very clear picture of what has happened. He is the only person who knows exactly this story that played out from the 1970s to today. So this is a matter that he has to come across to us clean. If there were mistakes or any deliberate actions that he took that are not supposed to be what it should be, he has to come to us clean and explain things to us. And if he likes, offer an apology and tell us exactly what steps he is taking to be able to rectify the situation. But to keep mute will be a big disservice to us Nigerians that he is leading at this moment.
I want to believe that we have John back with us. I would like to get John's view on this, but while we're trying to rectify that, I'm going to come to you now, Victor Atewe, who is also a public affairs commentator. Victor, I'm going to quickly ask you this one. As it stands now, the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, is calling on opponents to join hands. Well, NNPP, Kwankwaso of NNPP hasn't exactly said anything, but what do you make of that call? Do you think that's something that should be done? Should they come together and fight, I'm going to use this word loosely now, fight a common enemy as it stands, and then see to the fact that, okay, this enemy is taken out of the picture before moving forward with contesting for who will now emerge as who will now take the place of the common enemy. What do you make of this call?
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
that call for me is coming rather late, and to me, it's to what benefit? That's the question. If you are everybody, I mean, the three contenders want to, they're all vying for the number one seat. Now, if you're asking other contenders to join you in this cause, definitely to what end? You know, because it must drive to an end. Okay, what do we intend to achieve with this? Do we intend to, or are we hoping that the Supreme Court is going to adopt this evidence, and so doing, they're going to nullify his election? You know, that's the question to be answered. However, I think I saw somewhere that the National Assembly, Mr. Peter Obi has rejected that call. So, but I'm here to read in details exactly his words as to what I mean. You know, his words to the rejection of that call. For me, I really think that well, it's a good thing that the world already knows the truth now as it stands, and President Tinubu owed the Nigerian people, you know, an explanation to say the least as to what happened. Is the A Adekunle, as they said, or the A Ashiwaju? That has to be, you know, spelled out. Is the school be attended by a female or a male? That has to be, you know. There's so many questions left unanswered, you know. So for me, that call, it's really, to me, it's just to say, okay, you know, you're just trying to add up. I mean, this would have happened before the election, and with that, you'll have had better chances, you know, to, you know, fighting the ruling party. But as it stands now, it's let everything still falls back to the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court will adopt it, or they will say no to it, or they, because from the eyes of the law, this evidence ought to be ought to be been adopted by the lower court, by the tribunal. Of course, it wasn't. So we'll see what our justices will do if they will take that. But for me, I don't see any miracle happening. But it's a shame that we are here. We are where we are as a country, and of course, this will go to set a bad precedent to, you know, to the Nigerian people, and of course to us as a nation. It's not really a good thing, you know. This is forgery in its entirety. However you want to paint it, it's forgery. But we'll live to see what happened at the end of it. But the call for me, it's really not going to hold water, and I don't see anything good coming out from it.
All right, I'm going to ask you this. We deliberated on this yesterday. We talked about the forging documents. Is it a Nigerian thing?
Okay, I don't know if you saw. I don't know if peradventure you saw. I think it's a reply of a school. I can't recall. I can't remember the school. I think in the UK or somewhere that rejected, that they put on their list now Nepal, Nigeria, and some other countries because of cases of forgery. So this is that, like I said, this is going to set bad precedent to us as a country, as a people, and in the international eyes, international organizations and communities, they'll see us as people who are not clean, who are full of fake certificates. I mean, you have incidents of currently now in the UK, or in the UK, or in Canada, where you have most of our nurses that are there currently working, and they find out that most of their results are fake. So this goes to buttress, you know, the findings of the international communities as to the Nigerian state, and of course Nigerian people. So it's not a good thing, trust me. And you know, like we said, we're known to be, oh, the Yahoo Yahoo. I mean, the Nigerians are known to be the prince. You know, they call us the prince from Nigeria. They call us whenever you hear a prince from Nigeria, it's forged, it's fake, and all that. And coupled with this false certificating, it's too much to bear as a country, and it's not good for us. And I think the president or the presidency, of course, the presidency will just come out and give us a customized or a cosmetic message as they'll tell us and counter it instead of addressing the issue. But we really, I think the president owe us, he's serving us to say, this is what happened. I attended the school at so and so time, but however, this was a mistake or it's a typographical error. You know, These are questions I think. I mean, you're a public servant, so you owe us the public. I mean, the basic, the least question. I mean, the least explanation as to, you know what? I think this should be clear so as to help our image, in the international space. So for us, it's to me, it saddens my heart that we are
All
where we
right.
are as a country at this moment.
All right. I think the one you were talking about was the recall of nurses, the certificate of nurses, where I think about 200 or something have
Yeah,
been
200. Yeah, we call of nurses. Yeah, exactly,
That's
exactly.
you see
And
that's
and,
that.
and and there's one, yeah. And the other one is the school that we're currently not taking applications from Nigeria, Nepal, and I think Pakistan, or which other country again? Because of
Blue
forged
University.
certificates and all that.
All right then. You see that it's having an effect. It's having an effect on Nigerians in diaspora. All right, I'm going to come to you now, Nick. Nick, I mean, you've been around. You've been around quite a lot. Help me understand, and help me understand the third-party issuance of diploma certificate. Um, Help me understand how that works, really, Nick.
Unfortunately, I have no knowledge about that. I absolutely have no knowledge. I attended primary school, secondary school. I went to basic studies. I went to university. I did a master's, and I even did a degree in the UK. But I have never, ever known that a third party can issue a certificate of an institution. Maybe if there is such a practice, then perhaps this President Tinubu's academic records gate, as I will call it, has exposed new knowledge to me. Otherwise, what I know right from the time I got into primary school is that the awarding authority for a certificate is the school, is the institution that you attended. So this idea that a third party can award a certificate, I don't know on what basis. If that third party does not have the academic records of the student or the attendee at their course, on what basis, on what authority will they stand to certify that this person has undergone studies or training at that institution and has passed the relevant examinations and have been found worthy in learning and character for them to be able to issue that certificate. But you see, nothing surprises me because, in this Nigeria where we are, there was a time that we thought that you need at least a school certificate to be able to attain any political office. But it emerged that you might probably don't even need any schooling at all. You don't even need any certificate at all. And you can be elected into office. That is where the lawyers and the judges have dragged it to. In the same way, we used to think that for you to get a job as a graduate, you must present an NYAC certificate or a discharge certificate if you are above 30 at the point of graduation. But the lawyers and judges have pushed it to the point now that the NYSC certificate is now totally disregarded as not a requirement any longer for a graduate to get a job. So, we just live in a country of surprises where, everything seems to go, and who knows where this particular saga is going to lead us to.
All right, and we hope it doesn't lead us into the miry clay further. That's our hope. Oh well, this is let's wrap this up now. Let's go to another pressing issue. Up next on VOP this morning, we'd like you gentlemen to stay with us, Nick Agule and Victor Atewe, and we do know that we do hope that John will rejoin us in the course of the program. Um, well, up next on VOP this morning, Supreme Court has fixed December 15 to deliver judgment on appeal seeking the release of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, that's Nnamdi Kanu. Now, who knows what the outcome would be? We can only plead that they temper justice with mercy. Let's discuss this when we come back from this break.